Okay, so no one should do what I do, okay? That's the one thing about this channel you guys need to understand. But one thing I will say is that if your girlfriend cheats on you, I think her mom is free game. Honestly, like, it's not a bad thing that I messaged her mom, right? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy, but at the same time, insane story. Now, today's story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 12 year. I was 18 years old, and well, I'm not gonna lie, I got into a relationship. You see, in my grade 12 year, I ended up meeting a girl that was honestly amazing. She was super nice to me and super kind, and honestly, a lot of people in my school started to spread rumors that me and this girl were eventually gonna get together since grade 9. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but honestly, the thing about this girl was that she wasn't hot until she got into her grade 12 year. I don't know if she decided to hit the gym over the summer or if she got, you know, some sort of Botox, but I will say this, in grade 9, when people said that she liked me, I did not care one little bit. But obviously, since her grade 12 year came around, me and her started talking more because, like I said, she became way hotter, and yeah, things kind of changed. Because I remember one day when I was sitting in the cafeteria in my grade 12 year, she ends up sitting across from me saying, "Hey, Bubba, do you want to, like, I don't know, like, come over after school?" "Oh, I would, but honestly, I gotta finish this project." "Oh, your science project? I could just do it for you." "You'll do that?" "Well, yeah, I'm already acing the class." Okay, yeah, sure, if you could do it, that'd be great." I remember me and her, we started doing my homework together, and as we were doing it, I remember she looks over at me, sits right next to me afterwards, and as she's helping me with the homework, she ends up putting her leg on my thigh. Now, I thought this was kind of weird, but honestly, at the same time, like I said earlier, she became way hotter in her grade 12 year. So that's when me and her started talking more and more, and I ended up going to her place. And when I got to her place, something insane happened. Because I remember when I walked through the door, I ended up seeing her little brother run up to me saying, "Wait, are you Bubba? Are you Bubba? Like, actually?" Yeah, who are you?" "Oh, I am her little brother. I'm just wondering, is it true what people say about you?" What do people say about me?" "That you're like the biggest player in the school." At that moment, I remember her sister walks in, the girl that, you know, became hotter, and she basically says to him, "Stop saying that, you're embarrassing me." "Bubba, ignore him. Let's go up to my room." And me and her, we end up going upstairs to her bedroom. When we got there, I remember she starts cuddling me in the bed, and well, one thing leads to another. We end up doing the devil's tango. But midway through, I remember it became so awkward because her mom ends up walking in on us, and she says, "Oh, sorry, am I interrupting something?" And that's when I hid under the blanket in pure awkwardness. I remember she looks at me, and 100% I can just say that she definitely saw my eggplant. But instead of the mom acting so unrational, she ends up looking at us and says, "Oh, you guys are just doing normal things. Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. I made some dinner for you guys, and Bubba, welcome to the house." And that's when she closes the door, and that's when the girl beside me says, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe my mom just walked in on me for the second time in a row." "Wait, what? In a row?" "Oh, never mind that. Here, let's just go downstairs and eat dinner. Do you want to join?" Honestly, after that interaction, I think I'm good." "What? Really? You're not gonna, like, stay?" "Well, like, I don't know. Like, your mom just saw me basically naked. I kind of don't want to be around here anymore." "Okay, well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow at school." Yeah, no, 100%. At that point, I ended up basically leaving her house, and when I got inside my car to drive back home, and I'm not gonna lie, the only thing running through my mind was how weird it was to see her mom stare at my eggplant. But at the same time, it was what it was, and I remember from there, I ended up driving back, and when I finally got home, I went lie down in my bedroom, and that's when I got a Facebook friend request. Now, I don't use Facebook. I'm not gonna lie, Facebook's like for old people. At least that's what I think. So for her to send me a Facebook friend request was really awkward. Oh, wait, did you guys think that the girl that I did the devil's tango with sent me a friend request? Oh, no. You're dearly mistaken, young viewer. It was her mother. Her mother sent me a friend request. And knowing that her mom sent me a friend request, I was like, you know what? And when I accepted it, I remember right away I got a message saying, "Oh, Bubba, I just want to let you know it's okay what happened today. My daughter tells me she's super embarrassed, and I just want to say it's 100% fine. I understand what was going on, and don't feel embarrassed. You're always welcome back." It was really nice of her to say that, and I understand why, but at the same time, like, it kind of made me from that day since not want to go back to her place. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, if your mom DM'd me saying it's okay to come over and devil's tango, I would think that there's been more things happen in that house that I should not know about. So I ended up basically starting to ignore this girl. From ignoring, me and her actually ended up somehow dating because rumor went out that me and her did the devil's tango, and me and her, I guess, became official. I have no idea how it happened, to be honest. It's high school. Nothing really makes sense, okay? But, you know, one thing I will say is that ending off high school with a high school sweetheart has always been a dream of mine. So I decided to basically go through with this relationship, and me and her basically started dating. For me totally avoiding to go to her house and going on special dates to dinners, movies, and once in a while going back to my place instead, things were going pretty all right in the relationship. And I can easily say I think think I basically fell in love with this girl. I know it sounds weird me throwing the love word around, but at the same time, like I said earlier, I'm a helpless romantic. I don't know any better. And after 4 months of me falling for this girl and me and her basically getting together, things kind of took a turn. What kind of turn? Well, she started avoiding me more and more, and things ended up kind of flipping, I guess. From me avoiding her, she started avoiding me. She wouldn't reply to my texts. She wouldn't reply to my emails, which is weird because I only sent one email to her school email because she told me her phone was broken, but that was clearly a lie. And well, honestly, it became to the point where she just ended up not seeing me overall. It kind of made me upset and I didn't know what I did wrong. So I decided to make a special gesture and basically surprise her at her place, which is crazy, by the way, because the last time I actually ended up going to her place was the incident. And I remember I decided to get flowers. I drove up to her place. I knock on her front door, and that's when her mom opens the door. Her mom looks at me and says, "Bubba, what are you doing here? Is your daughter home? I kind of want to talk to her." "Oh, she's not home right now." At that moment, I ended up looking at the floor and I saw that her shoes were there, and I knew that her mom was lying to me, but I didn't want to say that in front of her, so I ended up saying, "Oh, okay, well, can you just hand these to her?" "Oh, yeah, 100% I can give these flowers to her. No problem." "Okay, cool, thanks." And at that moment, I ended up going back to my car and I didn't drive home. I decided to stake out and just see like if she was really home and why she was lying and maybe like confront her on it. But then that's when I saw a guy ended up exiting the house. It wasn't a guy that I knew, but he was definitely from my school. And when I saw her come out of the house with him, they ended up kissing each other goodbye and he went and walked home. At that moment, that's when I got out of my car and said, "Wait, so you're cheating on me?" And she turns around and says, "Oh, Bubba, wait, you're here? What are you doing here? What? I was busy." "Who's that?" "Oh, he's just a friend from PE class." "What? I don't understand. Were you cheating on me?" At that moment, me and her got into an argument and she basically just told me to go away. She didn't want to be confronted. And honestly, if a girl says to leave you alone, no matter what, you have to leave her alone. So I got back inside my car and I just drove home knowing that I just got cheated on. At that moment, when I got home that day, I was really upset, to be honest. Even though it was only like a 4-month relationship, still, heartbreak still hurts. And as I was laying in bed, I ended up scrolling through my phone. And as I was going through my IG, which all of you guys should follow, by the way, I ended up getting a message from her mom. Her mom ended up texting me on Facebook once again, and she says, "Hey, like, I just heard what happened outside, and I just want to say, like, I think you're a great person, and I'm sorry my daughter cheated on you. She really just, was upset that you would never come over, and honestly, so was I." That's when I texted her mom back saying, "Oh, well, look, if you wanted me to come over, just say so." "Well, what if I told you to come over?" At that moment, her mom asking me to come over was kind of crazy. But at the same time, her daughter did just cheat on me. So I guess that makes her mom free game. At that moment, I texted her back saying, "Do you want me to come over?" "Well, yeah, that's why I said come over." "Okay, what do you want to do?" "Oh, I mean, nothing with my daughter. It could just be me and you." At that moment, I said bet. And I ended up getting in my car at like 2 in the morning. I drove to her place and I ended up seeing her mom. When I went to the living room and sat with her mom, me and her mom were just talking and stuff, and both of the kids were sleeping. So that led to me and her watching a movie. We ended up watching some like dramatic, like romantic movie. And me and her mom basically did the devil's tango. Yeah, kind of crazy, but at the same time, like her mom was hot. I wasn't really complaining. And she already knew what she was working with since she walked in on me and her daughter. Honestly, I don't know what kind of mom would allow this to happen to her anyways, but at the same time, like, I don't really know. I don't know what else to say other than that. But I think the worst part was that after the movie was over and like the TV basically went silent, you could basically hear every move that we were making on that couch. And that's when her daughter ends up coming downstairs saying, "Bubba, what are you doing here? Are you with my mom?" At that moment, I started to freak out and I literally just grabbed my clothes, ran back to my car and drove home. And from then on, we made the deal that as long as people didn't know she cheated on me, I wouldn't tell her that I did her mother. Yeah, kind of a weird trade-off, but at the same time, honestly, this is your story. And I know you're watching this video, by the way, because your mom did hit me up recently, but hey, that's a story for another time. Okay, so parents liking me is nothing new. I'm not gonna lie to you, growing up, I knew how to talk to parents and not make it seem like I was an absolute weirdo that would just sit in my mom's basement and getting stoned. Even though I don't agree with smoking whatsoever, I believe that for me, communicating with parents were really easy. And honestly, I could do it over and over. Like, for example, if I met your mom, I could probably, make her smile, make her happy, and make her realize that I'm not some weirdo on the internet that tells really interesting stories, even though that is literally my life. But today's story is about how one mom in particular, which was my girlfriend's mom, ended up taking things a bit differently. But obviously, before we get into it, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And on top of that, did I mention I go live on Kick streaming, telling crazy stories like this almost every single day? So join me live. I'm probably live right now as you're watching this, and watch me either gamble, tell stories, or just, hang out with people that were actually part of my life in these amazing stories. But other than that, let's just go straight into this embarrassing story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really embarrassing embarrassing video. So today's story takes place back when I was in high school, and this was actually my grade 12 year. Now in grade 12, you're an adult. Let's be real here. You are turning 18, you're becoming an adult, and while life's gonna hit you like a train. But I remember towards graduation, you know, the year of grade 12, basically, let's just say things got really interesting because my birthday's in May. So I have like kind of an early birthday, I would say. May 13th is my birthday. And basically, I remember when I turned 18, I had a girlfriend this time that I thought I could make into my high school sweetheart. If you guys don't know what high school sweethearts are, it's when you have a girlfriend that you graduate with and then marry later on in the future. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't believe in the term high school sweethearts. I've always seen it in the movies that we all love and, you know, show nowadays in this generation, even though high school sweethearts will never happen again since the 1945s. But I remember basically there was one time specifically where, you know, me and my girlfriend, we were talking about how I never actually got to meet her parents. And for some reason, my girlfriend would always give the excuse of like, oh, like, I don't think you're ready to meet them. Oh, to be honest, I don't think you want to meet them yet. Honestly, we've only been dating for like a couple months here. I don't think it's worth it. She'd always give these excuses as if she was hiding her parents from me, which fair enough. I mean, sometimes people aren't willing to show off their parents. But it was one time where I actually ended up basically running into one of her family members when we were out. I remember one time, me and my girlfriend were walking through the mall. We were just hanging out, me and her doing our own thing. And I remember as we were inside a store, just hanging out, talking, and about to get some bubble tea, a woman walks by and starts staring at my girlfriend like instantly. Like she just couldn't stop staring at my girlfriend as if she was like aroused by her. So I remember I found it super weird and told my girlfriend, yo, who's that staring over there? And right as my girlfriend looks over, she starts to panic and say, oh, that's my mom. That's your mother? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason I thought this girl was some random woman and not, you know, her mother, because sometimes you can tell between like, you know, parents and kids, like in a resemblance. Like for example, if I put my mom beside me, she actually generally kind of looks like me. Or my dad, you know, like it shows like I'm their kid. But this woman did not look like she was the mother of my girlfriend. Like she had no resemblance whatsoever. So I remember me being kind of weirded out. I walked up to her basically and said, hi, I'm Bubba. Nice to meet you. She looks over at me saying, oh, hi, I saw you were with my daughter. How are you doing, honey? And my girlfriend walks up to her mother and she seemed really annoyed. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe like her mom was stalking us or something, but basically she was just not happy with the situation whatsoever. So me knowing that my girlfriend was uncomfortable, I remember I decided to, you know, leave them some alone time. And I said to the mother, oh, like, I'm gonna go quickly pick up our bubble teas. You guys can catch up. As if they never talked before, even though they live in the same house, which was really weird to say. But still, I ended up leaving them alone, being the good boyfriend I was supposed to be. As I remember, I was going towards the bubble tea station, just waiting for them. Her and her mother sounded like they were having an argument. I don't know why. They just seemed like they were yelling at each other until my girlfriend ended up yelling, you better stay away from this one this time. What? Stay away from this one? Am I this one? Honestly, I didn't know what was going on, and I decided to just basically not say anything and leave it alone since it was family business. Or at least so I thought. I remember afterwards, the mother ended up walking away, and me and my girlfriend were just walking down the mall with our bubble teas. And I had to ask her the question, of course, if she was okay, and what in the world just happened. She looked over at me and said, okay, honestly, like, I don't really want to talk about it, and it's one of the reasons why I don't want you to meet my parents, so can we just leave it? Yeah, sure. Afterwards, I thought, you know what? Whatever. It's none of my business, and I'm going to respect that. So I remember I ended up basically walking to the parking lot to get inside my car. Yes, I had a car in grade 12. I was a really cool guy, I guess. And basically, as my girlfriend gets in my car, and as I was about to get into my car, I see the same woman, which was her mother, running up to my vehicle. She ran up to my vehicle. My girlfriend was already in the car, and she seemed really upset when she saw her mother again. And me, I basically walked up to her saying, hey, what's going on? Oh, Baba, I just wanted to let you know you're invited to our party that's happening. It's gonna be tomorrow night. It's just a family dinner, and we're gonna have some family over as well. I hope you're okay with it, and we'd love to meet you more. Yeah, sure. I'm cool with that. And then afterwards, she ended up walking away, and when I got inside the car, my girlfriend was asking me what in the world she wanted. Now, at this point, I told her the honest truth. I said, listen, your mom invited me to some family dinner. I know you don't want me meeting your family, but, you know, I think this would be a great thing for us. And she went quiet. And she was quiet for the whole car ride home until we got to her place, and she told me, Baba, you can come if you want, but please don't talk to my mom a lot, okay? She's kind of weird. Okay, sure. And she got out of the car and went home. I'm not gonna lie, after that whole situation, I didn't know if I should actually go to this party or not. I thought maybe I should respect her and just, you know, not go. But at the same time, maybe this would be a good thing for us. I don't know. I don't really know what decision I should have chose. You guys can put down below what you guys would do in this situation. Would you go meet the family or would you not? Because let's be real here. What are we supposed to do in this situation? I guess being a boyfriend's way harder than I expected. And honestly, I think this is why to this day I am single and just smashing women and telling more stories, which is depressing. But at the same time, ladies, I am single. If anyone wants to, one thing led to another. I remember when I got home, home, she texted me that she loved me, and that was the first time she ever said she loved me. And this was where things got awkward because I didn't say it back. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird because we're obviously talking about a whole different thing going on, but I thought I should mention that because it kind of correlates to the story for later on. So you're welcome. Going on though, I remember the next day happened and it was a Saturday, and basically I got dressed up and nicely, suited up, I guess. Not really suited, but I wore a nice dress shirt to go to her house. And I got in my car, I started driving to her house, getting ready to go meet her entire family tree. Was I nervous? Yes, of course, it's meeting her family. But was I, not wanting to do it? No, because maybe this would be a closer connection between me and my girlfriend. I remember when I got there, I was really, really nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I walked through the door, I almost stuttered every sentence I ever said to anyone there. But obviously, I did walk up to people. I did say hello because, in Persian, or at least in the Middle East, it's very common for the person new coming into the building to walk up to everyone saying hello. It's just a nice gesture to do. I know sometimes white people don't do it, or I guess other cultures don't, but I don't know. Us Middle Easterns, we do it all the time. And basically, I said hello to everyone. I said, hi, how are you? And then this is where the story gets really weird, because I remember my girlfriend the whole time when I entered that house, she was strapped onto me like a Glock. Like, I'm not joking. She was like literally always by my side. She was literally like this Boba Fett. She just wouldn't let me go. She was just holding on to me for dear life. I just realized I'm grabbing your balls, dude. Never mind. Going on though. I remember the whole time I could not get away from her. And to be honest, it got to the point where I was actually annoyed that my girlfriend was always by my side. I know it's kind of weird because usually a person would want his girlfriend's comfort. But at some point throughout the whole dinner party that was going on, I thought I could handle it myself. But one thing I started to realize as dinner started was that we all had to sit down. I remember I ended up sitting down, and then her cousin sat beside me, and then her mother sat beside me, and my girlfriend had to sit across from me. Now, you guys are probably wondering what does the cousin have to do with this story, and honestly, absolutely nothing. But the mother, well, she's in the title for a reason, because I remember basically from there, every time we were like eating dinner, she would pass things to me, be nice to me during dinner like a mother should. But then she did this really awkward thing where she started talking about how amazing I was to her daughter, and then ended up groping my leg. I am not joking. She literally put her hand on my leg as if she was ready to like touch my eggplant. I was super freaked out, and I'm like, yo, okay, that's weird. But the weird part was that she didn't just grab it either. She just kept like rubbing her arm on there for like almost the rest of dinner, as if I was her property. Like if I was in prison and a woman was doing that to me, I would be considered her like toy. I think that's the pocket thing. But going on though, I was super weirded out and I was super uncomfortable. So I remember from there, I ended up getting my phone and I ended up standing up saying, I have to go to the bathroom. My girlfriend and her mother both showed me where the bathroom was. And when I went inside the bathroom, I basically just urinated, took a waz, and washed my hands. But in the middle of washing my hands, I remember someone else enters the bathroom. And if you were thinking it was my girlfriend, well, it wasn't. It was actually her mother coming in trying to show me how to use soap. Yeah, like, those in those like romantic movies where like two people are like, rubbing their hands together. Basically, she was doing that with me, trying to teach me how to wash my hands. Like, listen, I'm an 18-year-old adult. And then I remember after that, I ended up basically thanking her, but then she ended up closing the door behind her. She closed the door behind her when I wanted to leave the bathroom and ended up walking up to me saying, so are you 18 yet? Yeah. And then afterwards, she ended up actually basically making out with me. I was kissing my girlfriend's mother. My girlfriend was Italian at this time, so maybe, Italians kiss lip to lip as like a thankful gesture. I don't know. I was trying to give up any reason in my head for me thinking this was okay, because I'm not gonna lie to you, her mother was hot. And then afterwards, one thing led to another. She ended up actually taking off her blouse, and yeah, let's just say we ended up doing the devil's tango in the bathroom, but obviously not for long, because I remember 5 minutes later, my girlfriend ended up walking into the bathroom saying, Bubba, is everything okay in there? Yeah. She ended up finding me and her mom doing it. Now I understand why her parents were divorced, but still living in the same house. I remember when she found us, she was really upset, and she ended up yelling, Bubba, I said I loved you yesterday, and this is how you treat me? Yeah, I had no words for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ended up just putting on my clothes and getting back into my car and drove home. And since then, I have her blocked on everything, and I have not spoke to her since. But anyways, guys, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys. Before I get into the story, I just want to say that revenge is never the answer. Except in this story, it was. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to an insane story. And I remember in grade 12, it was my craziest year yet. Because around this time, my body count was like in the high 80s. And I basically done a lot of the devil's tango. But one thing I will say is that since I did a lot of the devil's tango throughout high school, girls talk, and well, none of them were interested in me anymore, let's just say. So I remember I decided to take the grade 12 year and not focus on girls and focus on myself. You know, basically focus on what I want to do with my future and figure out if I was gonna be forever that guy that just did the Devil's Tango. Little did I know I was still going to be, but going on with the story though, I remember in grade 12, I decided to focus on, you know, actually becoming good friends with the guys and just, you know, focus on me and the homies. You know what I mean? Like, you know those memes where you see a person in heartbreak and you see like the boys like always supporting the guy after like, you know, they get heartbroken? That's basically what I wanted. So I remember I basically started hanging out with the guys again. Now, if you guys don't know, I had this friend group back in high school that were the boys. The boys were just a couple of crazy guys with crazy shenanigans that just kind of did their own thing. Well, not their own thing, but together as the boys. And I remember basically I ended up, you know, hanging out with them more, and it was a really good time. I'm not gonna lie to you, I always enjoyed going out with the boys and hanging out with them. It was more entertaining than me bringing a chick home and doing the Devil's Tango, which is a really big thing for me to say, by the way. But going on, I remember out of the boys, there was one person in the group that was, well, not a fan of me. And the reason for that is because, well, throughout the high school years, apparently at some moment, I did his girlfriend and I did the Devil's Tango with her and then ghosted her. Which, I mean, I don't know why he's upset about that, because he should be happy that I ghosted her, because if I didn't, well, then he would never be with her in the first place. You guys know what I mean? But he wasn't understanding that, and honestly, he kept having like these drama moments with me where he would be mean to me and stuff, and he would always pick on me in front of the guys. Now, it's normal for guys to pick on each other. It's a very normal thing. But when you pick on another person to an extent where you're bringing like, you know, bigger things into the picture, when you're crossing that line, I guess I would say, it hurts a lot more. So I remember he ended up doing that, and he always used to pick on me, crossing the borders with, you know, basically calling me like racist slur terms and stuff. And me, I wasn't cool with it. So I remember I kept telling him to like buzz off, like, you know, relax and stuff. And the thing is too, is that he kept making a fool of himself every time he made fun of me because, well, the guys all knew that it was because I ghosted his girlfriend after I did the Devil's Tango with her. So, I mean, fair enough. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember one time we were all sitting in the cafeteria. Me and the guys were just sitting there eating our Subway sandwiches and just relaxing. And then this guy ended up walking up to us, the guy that used to always pick on me, and he said, yo, guys, I'm having like a little party at my place. You know, it's my girlfriend's birthday. And like, honestly, like, if you guys are down, I mean, like, you guys all want to go? Because she's cool with everyone going. I remember I looked at him and he ended up looking at me saying, oh yeah, Bubba, you're allowed to come too. Like, don't worry, like, she's chill with you now. Oh, okay, cool, I'm in, is what I said afterwards, with no hesitation at all, because I didn't want him thinking that it would be weird for me as well. And then afterwards, I remember basically all the guys ended up saying yes, and basically that night we all decided to basically go home, hop on Xbox for a little bit, and then start getting ready for the party. Now, me, when I was getting ready for the party, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was thinking I was just gonna go there, have a good time, and then just head back home and not do anything, which is really rare for me, by the way, because usually I would go home with a girl and do the Devil's Tango. But I guess that wasn't the case this time. Like I said, I wanted to focus on myself, hang out with the guys, and just have a good time. So I remember when I got to the party, I was looking really good, and I remember I walked around hanging out with everyone, drinking, and just having a good time. But I remember as the party was like going on and stuff, out of nowhere, I ended up seeing someone that I recognized. And apparently it was a girl that I actually fell in love with back when I was way younger, in grade 9. Now, if you guys don't know, yes, I had my first love back when I was in grade 9. I'm not gonna say any details about it, nothing, because obviously this girl basically was the one that I blame for becoming who I am today. I know it's kind of sad and depressing to say, but let's just say this girl was my first love ever. And to this day, I actually still love her, but honestly, I can't ever speak to her because, well, yeah, you know, it's a story for another time. Let's just put it that way. Going on though, I remember basically when I saw her at the party, I started freaking out. I'm like, why is she here? And I started hyperventilating and freaking out, which is not a normal thing for me to do, by the way, because I do a lot of different girls on the daily almost, or was doing a lot of girls on the daily almost. So seeing her there really freaked me out. And I remember as I was looking at her, she ended up seeing me and we locked eye contact. And when we locked eye contact, it was super awkward until the guy that always picked on me, that was a part of the boys, ended up seeing me, looking at her, and walked up to me saying, oh, that's my girlfriend's new friend. Honestly, like, I didn't expect her to actually show up. And I ended up looking at him saying, oh, like, why is that? Oh, I don't know. Apparently, like, she has beef with one of the guys. I don't know who, but I mean, it's whatever, I guess. And he ended up walking away, kind of smirking. At this point, I knew what this guy was doing, and honestly, it wasn't cool. Like I said, it was all right making fun of the guys, but obviously, taking it to that extent where you're crossing the line is too far. I remember when I saw this, though, what I ended up doing was basically drinking more and got really upset to the point where I ended up basically going upstairs to one of the bedrooms, and I ended up just sitting in his parents' bedroom, just sitting there all upset. I was sitting there upset as I was drinking more and more, and I remember I started realizing why basically being the devil's tango master has its perks, but in reality, it sucks because falling in love wasn't easy anymore. But I remember as I was sitting there all upset and everything, I saw the bathroom from the parents' bedroom open up. When the door opened, I remember I saw my friend's mom that was just chilling there. She saw me and she said, "Oh, like, Bubba, I'm sorry, I didn't see you in here. What are you doing here, by the way? The party's downstairs." "Oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was here." Me kind of slurring my words a bit. "Oh, like, I'm just, you know, kind of upset, but it is what it is. Sorry, I'll leave you alone though," is what I said afterwards. And I started basically heading for the door. But as I was heading for the door, I remember his mom was in a robe and basically ended up stopping me saying, "Are you all right? Like, you seem off. Is everything okay? Like, you can talk to me." Okay, I guess. And I ended up basically sitting back on the bed with her, and I basically started ranting. I started ranting about how her son basically did the mistake of the century and basically made me feel like absolute garbage after seeing my first love downstairs. And, you know, one thing led to another. I was rambling about the whole situation, and she ended up saying, "I can't believe my son would do that to you." Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's just trying to mess around, or I don't know. He's just being whatever. Me trying to play it cool because at the same time, I am complaining about her son right in front of her. And then that's where things get really scary because what this mom decides to do was something I never expected. She ended up basically saying, "You want to know the best way to, like, you know, get rid of those emotions?" I said, "What?" "By distracting yourself." And she ended up standing up and taking off her robe right in front of me. And one thing led to another. Well, as you guys may guessed it, we ended up doing the devil's tango. I did the devil's tango with his mom. Yeah. That's insane, by the way, can I just say? I never expected it to happen. And like I said earlier, I was expecting to go into this party not doing anything. But I ended up basically doing his mom. And one thing led to another. I remember in the middle of me and her doing it, I ended up hearing the door open saying, "Hey, mom, I have a question. What are you doing?" And basically, it was the guy that was always picking on me, seeing that I basically was doing his mom right in front of him. I did this guy's mom right in front of him. Like, can you guys imagine that? Like, imagine your friend just doing the devil's tango with your mom, and you walk into that as there's a party going on downstairs for your girlfriend. That's insane. I remember when he saw that, he started basically closing the door and was really upset. And honestly, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to go back downstairs and face everyone. So I decided to put on my clothes again, and the mom even asked me like, "Oh, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't expect this to happen." And I ended up telling her, "Does your window open?" I basically ended up opening up her window and jumping out of it. I jumped out of her window and just went back home. And since that day, I have not talked to any of the boys until the weekend after. And then on Monday, I remember everyone ended up walking up to me knowing what happened and ended up saying that was insane. And even the boys knew that that was the most craziest revenge you can get on a person that picks on you. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.